Listen, I want to kind of go back to this conversation of the Detroit Lions, man, taking them as serious contenders, which feels like uncharted territory.
All right, brother. What is a contender for what?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. What's the story here this year? What is it that we're getting excited for? Because everybody's hyped this year. You hear people throwing around contender. You hear people saying, some people are saying they need to win the NFC. Some people are saying they just need to make the playoffs. Some people are saying they need to win a playoff game. What's the standard this year? What are we getting pumped up for?
We're getting pumped up because the Lions could win the division for the first time since the 90s. You're getting pumped up because the Lions could host a playoff game and win it. You would assume if they're hosting a playoff game, they're playing some also ran team who's 9-8 or 8-9 or whatever. So that's what we're getting hyped up for. We're getting hyped up because it won't be the same old Lions winning their 8 or 9 games, just missing the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
So you believe for certain they are pushing the button? Because I'm telling you, my brain is like, yeah, but because of who they've been for so long, man, just a small part of me is just like, are they really going to be that team that we see go out there like the Patriots have and the Eagles have and some of these other teams like the Niners have when it's been their year? When we looked at them from the outside and said they're those teams, they've gone up there and gone 12-4, won their division easily, won a couple playoff games, look like contenders. It is so crazy to think about the Detroit Lions in that capacity, but I believe you're exactly right. All the pieces are there. The coaching is there.
Look at this. Normally, if you talk about the Detroit Lions and their contenders, they have a bunch of dudes who are 34 and 35 on the last leg of their career. But now, these dudes are young. It's like one of the youngest teams in the NFL. I mean, these are babies out there kicking ass out there. So that's why you should be excited.
Houston.
Now, I don't care about a team being one-hit wonders. I don't care if the Lions, let's say they win 11 or 12 games this year and then disappear next year. That doesn't fly with me. What I'm excited about is they're going to be good this year, next year, and the following year. These are young puppies growing up together.
So you're telling me that it is safe for every Detroit Lion fan out there to bury the same old Lions. It's safe for every Detroit Lion fan out there to really get invested. Go out there and get whatever tickets. Get your game day gear. Get fresh. You're telling me this is the year for Detroit Lion fans to get fully invested.
And wait a minute. And this is coming from T. Everybody.
That's what's crazy about this.
For the last few years.
I got to take my shades off.
Hey, T, the Lions going to win 12 games this year. I pat him on the head and say, no, son, they're not. They still stink. I don't know what you're saying. But this year, I don't think they're going to win 12 games. But if somebody comes up to me and says they're going to win 12 games this year, I'm not patting you on the head and wanting to get you committed.
So you are firm, though. They're going to win the division this year.
They're going to win it.
Chris, how you feeling about that?
Coming down to the last game of the season between them and Minnesota.
Ooh, you think it's going to be that close?
I like that.
Yeah, I think Minnesota is not
drama.
going away.
I don't know, man. They won a lot of close games last year. Their team got worse. I think they're one of those teams that's bound to take a step back. Bound to take a step back.
Well, they may take a step back, and the step back is going to be not winning the division. But here's the thing. Every year between 45 to, I would say, 60% of NFL games are decided by one score. That's what it is. It's the pass-fail league. It's as simple as that. So, yes, Minnesota won all these one-score teams, but that's what you do.
I hear you. You're not wrong by that. Like, the NFL is always going to have close games, but the thing is we look at this all the time across all sports. As a team that wins 11 of their games close, like, they're not going to win all 11 close games next year. They might regress to 8. That's 3 losses.
Or
that's 3 more
they
losses.
might kick somebody's ass in a couple games. You don't know.
I mean – no, I don't see it with this Vikings. They are the biggest threat to the Lions to winning the division, but at the end of the day, I think they're a team that takes a step back. And I think when you look at this
and finish second.
And finish second.
And I thought that's what I just said.
This is so crazy.
I thought I just said that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm confirming everything you're saying. I think we just look at the Vikings as there's
no, you over here fighting me on this, and then you agreed with me.
I didn't fight you, Terry.
Yes, you did. You're like, I don't know about that. I'm going to take a step back. I don't know what you're talking about. I just said that.
Bro, we're sitting here talking about the Lions. Seriously, the Lions, not with real hope, but it's like it's the actuality. Like, this team is going to win the division this year. And this is coming from Terry Foster. Like, I heard you for years. I heard Terry Foster for years. Anybody who was going to say that the Lions were contenders and they were for real, You saw through it all. You called them out on their BS, and you did. If they called in, if they wrote you, if they hit you up on social media, you let them know. You're telling me that this is the year that you're actually going to be celebrating with fans.
Because I knew too much. The fans, they go watch games and they go home and do their stuff. I would go to games and I would go to practices. I would go to the front office. I would talk to people, and I was like, oh man, this organization is still jacked up. If only people knew. And I knew eventually it was going to catch up with them. I'll tell you, what year was this? The Lions finished the first half of the season 6-2. They kicked Denver's ass. It was like 41-3. And we go into the locker room, and Mike Fury, who was a cornerback turned wide receiver, before he leaves, he points at us and said, hey, media, you can kiss our ass. Do you know what I did? I was doing radio at the time. I got on the radio the next day and said, I know the Lions are 6-2, but they're not making the playoffs this year.
I remember that.
I did.
I remember that.
Bitch, I was right. Get the fuck out of here. And you know what happened? They lost 7 of their last 8 games and missed the playoffs.
That's what I was talking about. Is that year? I forget who it was. Was it Tony Scheffler or somebody who was running up the sideline and looked into the camera? Was like, "We're going to the playoffs," and that was that year, and it all fell apart. And it was just like, man. But you know what? I don't think that they had everything together going into the season like this squad does. They took advantage of some high points in their season to kind of start the season. And I think that that's what got them off to their 6-2. But like you said, you can kind of see through some of their holes that this team wasn't going to be able to maintain that. But this squad, like I said, these conversations are weird because you guys are just arguing, Chris and Terry, about how much are the Lions going to win the division by. And that's why I said, I'm like, man, if my name is Detroit Kool-Aid, I'm the one sitting here who's like, yo, we can actually be this comfortable about the Detroit Lions, man. And I honestly love it. It's what gets me hype, honestly, about a preseason game because we can come in and sit down. And it's not about the hope of, are we going to get a start of this preseason?
I'm going to say something bold.
Are we going to see something that's going to make us excited?
If the Lions don't win the division this year, and if they don't win a playoff game this year, they never will. They're done forever. Because this is the best it's ever been. And if you can't do it now, shoot.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the squad to just be a consistent team the way that I've had other friends that are like Steelers fans, Green Bay fans, and they're just able to talk about their team like they know, I'm going to get playoff tickets this year, or, I'm going to get Super Bowl tickets this year. I'm going to be able to – I'm ready to be able to talk about the Detroit Lions like that because we all, as Detroit fans, support this team.
Now, let me ask you something.
Crazily.
Do you have a second team?
No, I do not.
Because a lot of people here in Detroit have a second team.
I couldn't do it.
You know,
I couldn't do it.
There's Cleveland Brown bars in Detroit. There's Pittsburgh Steeler bars. There's Chicago Bears bars. And there's Green Bay Packer bars. You know why? Because there's enough people with second teams. The bars are like, we're filled on Saturday and then on Sunday, and then not watching the Lions. Because a lot of people here have second teams.
You know what, man? I actually went to a bar one night. We were just trying to get out to find some chicken fingers, and I stumbled upon this bar out in Madison Heights, and I walked in there, and there was nothing but Steelers fans in there. They had Steelers up on the board, up on the marquee and everything. I was like, what is going on? It was like a Sunday night football game. Like, what is going on? It was wild, man. It was wild.
So now what change we're going to see is not as many people are going to have second teams in Detroit. And I'm proud of you. You didn't get a second team.
Can't do it. Can't do it, man.
Chris. That's exactly what I was going to ask you, Terry, is how much success do the Lions have to have this year, or does it take multiple years before that whole second team thing kind of
multiple years? Because we've seen them I have, because you younger people haven't seen. I've seen them win 11 games. I even saw them win a playoff game at the Silver Dump.
That's insane.
So you've got to sustain it because old people like me are going to say, okay, I've seen them win 11 games, and then they won 5 games the next year, and then 7 the next, and 8, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So they have to sustain it. This should be a 4 to 5 year run at least.
Terry, I still find this stuff unbelievable, man, but I'm going to take your expert opinion. I am.
Okay. Just
Terry,
enjoy it. If I tell you to enjoy it, enjoy it.
I'll tee this up for you. So for the Lions fans that if they don't make the playoffs, if they underachieve, if they lose to the Vikings this year, they might need some They might need some SMA, some sports marketing agency. Why don't you tell them all about it?
Oh yeah, they sure will.